Hello, everybody. Anthony Calhoun live here at Radio Row in Atlanta, Georgia, getting you ready for Super Bowl 53 between the Patriots and the Rams. We are just so thrilled to bring you Big Game Bound live here from Radio Row all across our Nexstar Nation stations here on their websites. We're here throughout the week from 1 to 1:30 with all the inside scoop on what's taking place with Super Bowl 53 and also giving you just a feel for what it's going to be like here throughout the week for Super Bowl 53 between the Patriots and the Rams. I tell you what, I am just excited about this opportunity here to kind of guide the ship here as we dive in and take a look at the Rams and the Patriots getting ready to go head-to-head for the Lombardi Trophy. We got so much to get to throughout the week, also in this show here today as well. I got to bring in my sidekick throughout the week, J.B. Biunno from our sister station from Tampa, WFLA. Of course, I'm representing Wish TV out of Indianapolis. J.B., great to be with you, man. You see, the feel here, the pulse is just outstanding here on Radio Row. You really can get a nice feel for what it's like right now in Atlanta, right?
Oh, it's amazing. I think I'm in the wrong spot 'cause the Bucs didn't make it, right?
Yeah,
the Buccaneers,
right, yeah.
the Buccaneers. I don't think we've made it to the playoffs this year. No, we're here
Yeah.
for Rams, Patriots, and we could not be more pumped to be here in Atlanta. There is so much energy in the city. AC, us getting here just a couple days ago, and it's been just alive. Everyone's talking about the Super Bowl. Everyone's talking about the Rams, the Patriots,
Yeah.
Tom Brady, Sean McVay, and his youth and his youthful energy, what he's brought to the Los Angeles Rams. Really just an incredible matchup of two phenomenal teams, the two best teams in the league meeting in Super Bowl 53. And we want to remind everybody out there that we are doing this show for you, and you can be part of the conversation. Use the Big Game Bound hashtag, and we can take your comments. We can take your questions. All you got to do is get on Twitter, tweet anything using Big Game Bound, and we will incorporate it into the show here. We'll mention your comment. We'll take your question. You can ask one of those questions to the guests, and we'll make you part of the experience so you can feel what it's like to be here in Atlanta. AC, I'm really pumped. We have a great show coming up.
Yeah, we do have a great show coming up, and as you mentioned, JB, this is the place to be, Radio Row, and we're going to give you the feel of what it's like here in this atmosphere throughout the week from 1 to 1:30 Eastern Time every single day leading up to Super Bowl 53. As far as what's coming up on the shows we mentioned, we're going to take more of a look at the Rams and the Patriots of this matchup coming up on Sunday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Also, we got the guy who has an incredible just a vision for the Super Bowl. He is the COO of the host committee. He pretty much picked this Super Bowl all by himself when you think about it, as far as his vision, his planning for this big event. We're going to talk to him about all the cool events taking place here in Atlanta. Of course, they've had the Super Bowl here before. Now they're getting it again. We're going to get his take on all the great events happening here in ATL. And then finally, we got a Patriots insider joining us from our sister station, WPRI. All the inside scoop on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. We'll have that for you coming up here on Big Game Bound. But speaking of the Patriots, of course, we got to talk about the veteran himself, Tom Brady. I mean, JB, what this guy has done in his career, it is unbelievable. Here he is trying to go for his 6th Super Bowl ring. I mean, I think it's amazing the fact they made it to 8 straight AFC championship games. I mean, he's 41 years old, and he's playing like he's in his early 30s. He's been incredible. The run that the Patriots have made to get back to the Super Bowl for the 3rd year in a row. Tom Brady, unbelievable. Yesterday, how about this, folks? They had over 35,000 fans in Foxborough there to just, to cheer on the Patriots, wishing them well as they made their way to Atlanta. And what I loved about Tom Brady, and I think he kind of proved a point, because midway through the season, you all know, a lot of folks were concerned about the Patriots and Tom Brady. Should he give it up? Should he wrap it up? And yesterday in their press conference, he goes, in their pep rally, that is, we're still here. We're still here. I mean, you got to love that if you are a Patriots fan, that here's a guy who folks thought maybe this may be it for him, and he takes his team, he wills his team, they go and take care of business at the #1 seed in the AFC in Kansas City, and now he's here in another Super Bowl appearance.
I think Patriots fans are spoiled. How about that? Am I going out on a limb to say, I mean, what a dynasty that we have had. I mean, to be able to go for ring number 6 under the same duo of head coach and quarterback Bill Belichick and Tom Brady forming perhaps the most victorious union in the history of the NFL. It's been extremely special for the entire region of New England, and here they are again. Here we are again, and New England is perhaps going to walk away with yet another title, depending on what happens. But I think the Rams might have something to say about that. But Tom Brady, focusing again on Tom Brady, AC, here's a guy who just won't stop. And he doesn't sound like he's slowing down. He has said to the media this week that this is not his last game. He is not riding off into the sunset if he can beat the Rams. This is just another chapter in the very long book that makes up the historic career of Tom Brady and his greatness.
That's right. Let's hear from Tom Brady.
Things change, obviously, with yourself, team, personal situations, professional situations. And I love competing. I love playing football. I think loving the game and trying to improve and be the best I could be for the team is great motivation for me. And I've always just spoke about winning. And, that's what I love to do. That's why I'm here. That's why this team, I think, has, done such a great job. I think everyone here is just committed to winning.
You see Tom Brady right there. As he mentioned, there is no time of him slowing down. He did say yesterday when he was asked the question of, is this it for you if you plan to will you plan to retire if you win? And he goes literally like this, 0 chance that I'm retiring if I win or lose here on Sunday against the Rams. And switching gears to the Rams, here's a Rams team with the youngest coach ever in the Super Bowl and Sean McVay, and then you think about their quarterback and Jared Goff, only 24 years old, in his first ever Super Bowl. As far as the Rams, their first trip here in the Super Bowl since 2002. Here's a team that has surprised some folks. We know they had a great year, but to go in there and to beat New Orleans, J.B., the way they did, and we know there's a lot of controversy about what took place in that last play there, that pass interference. We know it was pass interference that was miscalled by the officials there, but the fact that they still got the win in a very hostile environment, no doubt this Rams team is very dangerous and could be a threat to the Patriots. The only thing that concerns me about this Rams team is the fact the youth and a young coach, and you get Bill Belichick almost 2 weeks to prepare. It could be a challenge for any team. Here's some sound now from the Rams and their take on being a part of an opportunity of a lifetime.
Our coaching staff has put together plans that we feel like have put us in a position to go win football games and stop 2 very productive offenses. This week's going to be a very, very great challenge for us. But, we're hopeful that we'll be able to finish this season off with another outstanding performance from our defense.
Yeah, they're a great team and have been for a long time for a reason. Obviously Coach Belichick and everything they do there defensively is at the top of the league almost every year for a reason. And, it'll be a good challenge for us and something we're ready for. And we have a lot of respect for them, but at the same time, going to prepare and do our best to win the game.
All right, there. So we heard from now the Rams as they get ready to go against the Patriots in Super Bowl 53. If you just joined us now, Anthony Calhoun here, part of Next Star Nation. We are here at Radio Row. This is the place to be, folks. We appreciate you watching. We'll be here from 1 to 1:30 every day here on this website. And this is the place to be, as I just mentioned. It gives you a great feel for what's going on with the Super Bowl. You have former players here. You've got radio DJs, if you will, a lot of the radio shows. Over 200 stations are actually here on Radio Row, getting folks throughout the United States prepared for Super Bowl 53. It is my pleasure to welcome to Big Game Bound, and we're talking about big time. We got the big time man here himself. This is Brett Daniels from he's the part of the host committee. He's the COO of the host committee. I had a chance to spend some time with him back in October. My man, thank you so much for joining us here, and I got to say bravo to you and your entire team. We got here on Saturday, and we've seen the white jackets, so many volunteers, everyone so nice and friendly and welcoming us here in Atlanta. There's no doubt you guys have done big events before, and I know you got to be thrilled about this opportunity, right?
We're completely excited about this. We've got a great new stadium right there at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and we've got Team ATL, our 10,000 volunteers that are out in force, as you mentioned. These guys are the most energetic, passionate folks you'll ever see, and they're just spreading a little of that Southern hospitality.
So here we are in Radio Row, Brett, and you look around, and as I mentioned, this is really a good feel for like what Super Bowl atmosphere is like. And take us through this. The setup here seems amazing. We got different radio stations, TV stations here as well, part of this whole Radio Row. Take us through that. How challenging was the setup to be able to cater to the needs of so many people? So many stations want to be a part of Radio Row, and we know that you don't allow every station to come in here.
Yeah, it's one of the unique things that makes Atlanta so great for hosting an event like this. It's this downtown campus that we have right here in the heart of everything. We're surrounded by 10,000 hotel rooms. We've got mass transit to get the folks in and out of here. And then in the Congress Center, our convention center here, we've got the setup here for Radio Row. We've got the media workspace. The press conferences are taking place here. Right next door in the next building, we have Super Bowl Experience. Out in Centennial Olympic Park, we've got Super Bowl Live. You walk across the street tonight for opening night and the media day. Everything is just right here within just a few feet of each other.
Yeah, and so you speaking of Media Day, I know Media Day is taking place tonight in prime time. That's always a good time, right?
It is one of the unique things, and it's a chance for the fans. There are going to be almost 10,000 fans in State Farm Arena.
They're letting 10,000 fans in. That's new. That's new. They didn't really allow that last year. So 10,000 fans.
They're
That's awesome.
Fans in the seats, and it's a chance for them to kind of see behind the scenes and how this whole thing happens. They can listen on headsets to their favorite players or their favorite media members doing interviews down on the floor.
Well, I know we had some video of this Ferris wheel in the heart of a Centennial Park there, and we saw that back in October when we were here on a site visit, and it blew me away, man. I was like, oh my gosh, they have a Ferris wheel right there in the center of downtown. Take us through that. Who ideal was that? And man, it is very active. Every time I look, and the Ferris wheel is going around. Yeah,
that's Skyview. That's been in place here for a couple of years. It's a great attraction that we have downtown. One of the unique things we did with the Super Bowl here is we've wrapped those cars, so every one of them now is a different NFL team helmet. So we figure there's going to be people jockeying in line to make sure they get in their favorite teams or avoid their rival's helmet.
Yeah, when you think about this opportunity for your great city here of Atlanta, we're talking to Brett Daniels. If you're just joining us, he's the COO of the host committee for the Super Bowl. And when you think about the opportunity for yourself and this city, I know it's more than just a football game, right? You guys are giving back in other ways, correct?
Right. We've got a program called Legacy 53. We've got 5 kind of key pillars that are built around that. But a couple of them are really kind of near and dear to me. Business Connect is one of those, chance for our local businesses to get engaged in the Super Bowl and to be a part of it through catering, through staffing services, security, construction. Just a great way to tie in the community here to a major event. And then we're doing a mural project.
I heard about that.
Atlanta being the home of the civil rights movement in the 60s and currently the home of the Center for Civil and Human Rights, we wanted to focus on that legacy, that heritage. And so we're doing 30 wall murals around the community that'll be a lasting impact of the game and be a part of Atlanta's permanent art collection moving forward.
Yeah, we got JB in here as well with us, my sidekick. JB, I know you get a little question here for my man Brett too as well.
Yeah, I actually have a question coming in from Twitter.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
And it's from Brett. He says, hey, AC at Wish TV.
Yeah.
What do you think will be the biggest moment before the big game actually kicks off? And thank you to Brett for that question. Again, he using the hashtag Big Game Bound. You can ask your questions to us live here on Twitter. But yes, the biggest moment before the game actually kicks off. That's what Brett wants to know.
The biggest moment. I mean, I'll let you take that. Brett, what do you think? I mean, you know the city. I'll chime in too, but what do you think the biggest moment will be?
I think for us, one of the unique things we're going to have is Super Bowl Live. It's the public party that we're throwing out in Centennial Olympic Park. Local rapper and producer Jermaine Dupri has partnered with us to really secure all the talent. He's actually going to be on stage tonight in and around opening night. And next weekend we've got a great lineup of acts. And so Jermaine's been a big part of that, really telling the Atlanta story and showcasing some of Atlanta's finest music, food, and entertainment.
All right, I got to think maybe Maroon 5 may be a cool moment as well. I mean, they have their press conference coming up later this week. We know what happened last year with Justin Timberlake. So maybe Maroon 5 would be maybe the biggest moment outside before the Super Bowl. I mean, I know it's a press conference, but maybe that may be the biggest moment. Or who knows, maybe Tom Brady will do it in his press conference. He'll make it very clear he's not retiring. I mean, he's already said that already in a little one-on-one interview, but maybe that might be one of the biggest moments. We got any other questions, JB, from our good friends? All right, hey, don't forget, we're going to answer your questions. Just do the hashtag BigGameBound, hashtag BigGameBound. We'll try to answer all your questions. We're talking here to Brett Daniels, who's part of the host committee. And Brett, you know, how much has your past experience, I know this is the second time you guys have hosted the Super Bowl, but you've had big events here in Atlanta before. How much has it helped you guys prepare for this big weekend?
You know, I think it's a key part of it. Hosting those big events brings a lot of the different agencies together that we have to work with on transportation, public safety, all the planning that goes into something like this. And when we've hosted other events before, you start to build those relationships and know who to pick up the phone and call. And so having hosted the Olympics, previous Super Bowls, Final Four, last year we hosted the college football championship game here. You know, those relationships are built, those partnerships exist, and it's just time to, you know, get back to the table and start planning for the next one.
So I know your committee has been working on this for years. When you think about it, what's the most challenging part of your job as being in charge of this host committee?
You know, I think for us, it's balancing the guests that are coming in here and making sure they have a great experience, but also impacting the local residents, the local community. You know, we talk a lot about the 150,000 people that come into our city for the game.
Yeah.
We talk about the media members that are here, but we also want this to be about the local residents and the fact that they get down here and they experience it. They come to the events, they come to the activities. We like to say, you know, you don't have to have a Super Bowl ticket to have a Super Bowl experience.
Yeah.
And we have all those options here, you know, between Super Bowl experience, opening night, live, things like that, to really make sure that we impact the community and get them engaged and involved as well.
I know when we were at the Super Bowl last year in Minneapolis, it was an economic impact. It came out a month later from the report that it was over $400 million of an economic impact. I know you were very hesitant when I asked you that before to really go dive into those numbers, but there is no doubt this is a huge economic impact for this city, right?
Yeah, it is definitely. We've got a very conservative estimate going in of around $200 million. We think we'll far exceed that, like you saw in Minnesota.
Yeah.
When you start getting those numbers post-event, that's when you really know the impact you had. But we know it's coming. The hotels are full.
Yeah.
You can't get a reservation in any restaurant in the next few days.
Yeah.
So
I need a
we know
reservation.
people are fired up.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of good that comes out of hosting an event like this.
Well, you have an incredible past career. Obviously, you spent some time with the Cowboys, and you can definitely learn a lot from Mr. Jerry Jones. We know that. I know he's helped you a lot in your career. But now here you are taking really in your hands the ultimate, the biggest night in football with the Super Bowl. And before I let you get out of here, what's the most important event that you're going to be keeping your eye on that you're really looking forward to this week leading up to the big game?
You know, there's so many things happening around here, and
Yeah.
it is such a great week of events. You know, we have an event tonight with our Business Connect program. It seems like every night there's something coming up.
Yeah.
Mr. Blank is doing an outstanding event for the NFL owners on Thursday night, something very unique at the Center for Civil and Human Rights, a real in-depth, meaningful program for them. Obviously, NFL Honors at the Fox Theater on Saturday will be spectacular. That marquee lit up out there with those NFL dignitaries walking the red carpet. And then we got a game on Sunday.
That's right, yeah, some game, right? All right, I know you can't give me a prediction, right? Or can you give me a prediction?
You know, we're here at the host committee. We're very neutral.
Right.
Since our hometown team didn't quite make it.
That's right. Hey, the good news, though, for you, good thing New Orleans did not come here, right? I think you're okay with that, being a Falcons guy, right?
I think there's a few folks in town that have become Rams fans in the last 10 days or so.
All right, hey, Brett, thank you so much, my friend. It is day one here for our coverage on Big Game Bound, and we can't think of a better way to kick off our coverage, part of Next Star Nation, than having the man who is actually really running this event, the COO of the Super Bowl host committee here in Atlanta. Thank you so much, my friend.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
Okay, all right, we'll let you get out of here. That is Brett Daniels, of course, the COO of the host committee here in Atlanta. We appreciate his time for joining us. I got to say, they've done a tremendous job here in Atlanta. They've been just outstanding what they've been able to do over the past few days since we've been here. Volunteers on every corner, leading folks and getting them where they need to go throughout this weekend here in Atlanta. So we said we're going to talk more about this game coming up here between the Patriots and the Rams, and we're going to have joining us right now. This is Chris Sims, of course, a part of the Football Night in America. We're so glad he can join us. He's a busy man. He's running like crazy. Good seeing you as always, Chris. And thank you for joining us. And here we go, man. We got some guy named Tom Brady against some young guy named Jared Goff and the Rams up. First things first, let me get your take on just this matchup here. Should be a good one, right?
Yeah, I mean, it really should be a good one. I mean, first of all, hey, it's Tom Brady, you know, his royal goatness or whatever you want to say. I mean, he's unbelievable. His experience, the Patriots' experience in this game, in this situation, certainly an advantage. I mean, when you play in that many Super Bowls, they're not going to be enamored with media row and lights. They don't give a damn. But at the same time, the Rams are a good football team. The Rams are the more talented football team. Okay. The thing I worry about in this matchup more than anything is the Rams' lack of depth. That's the one thing, you know, having worked in New England and studied them over the years, when New England sees that you play the same 11 guys on defense all game long, they're going to wear you out with a number of concepts, pace, things like that, just to like what we saw last week in the AFC Championship game, right? That's the Chiefs were the number one sack team in football last year, but they couldn't even tell you what color Tom Brady's eyes were because they're so worn out by the mental and physical gymnastics. When the fourth quarter comes around and it's finally time to go, they can't go because they've been on the field 75, 80 plays already.
Okay, so, you know, one thing I really admire about you, I enjoy watching you on Football Night in America, and you're always honest and you speak your mind.
Thank you.
Tom Brady said that yesterday he had zero chance that he was going to retire.
Right.
How impressed have you been when you saw what took place in Kansas City a couple of weeks ago, to go in there to beat the top seed? Everyone doubted this guy,
right,
and they get it done. I mean, it seems like to me that he is on a mission to prove so many people wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to prove anybody else wrong. I think we all believe. You know, hey, yes, that was another obstacle where I think we all went, man, in Kansas City, they haven't been the greatest on the road in playoffs through the Brady Belichick era. But again, it just shows the greatness in New England, and it's not. Come on, 94 plays, and they ran the ball 48 times? Who does that this day and age? It's just another example of New England zigging while everybody else is zagging. Oh, everyone's worried about the spread offense. Well, we're going to put a fullback and get a tight end in and see if you can, you know, guard pulling guards and fullback ISOs and things like that. That's where New England is amazing. And then, of course, Brady, what he's doing at this age is phenomenal. I mean, Brady, come on, it's unreal, his career achievements. I will not say that Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
You will not say that?
I will not.
Why?
Brady, he is certainly top 5. I'm not going to make it just about rings, though. That's not fair. I think if Aaron Rodgers was on the on the New England Patriots, they would have the same amount of rings too, right? So he's awesome. People in New England hate me because I have that take. And it's not a take. It's just what I feel, and I've been around it for a long time. You're going to tell me my dad's better than Phil Simms is better than Dan Marino because he's got one more ring than he does? No, that's a lie.
Dad, though.
I like my dad too. I'm going to keep him for a little while. You're going to tell me like Eli Manning's better than Brett Favre because he has one more ring? That's not true.
Point,
so that's where I kind of fight back on that.
Before we get you out of here, of course, we're talking to a former NFL player here, Chris Simms. Give me your I got to get a prediction. You ready to give a prediction right now?
Yeah, sure.
All right, who do you like?
I like the Patriots. I'm going to say the Patriots win. I'm going to go like a 28-24 type of football game.
All right.
Like I said, I do think the Rams are extremely talented on both sides of the ball. They will pose some problems, but I think this New England secondary is phenomenal to where they can slow down the pass game. New England's a big team where the Rams are a speed team, and a speed team with lack of depth. That scares me against New England. TV doesn't do them justice. I know you've seen some of these guys in person. When you see Gronk and Trent Brown and you start to see the rest of the Patriots, you go, whoa, I didn't realize they were this type of football team. They are predicated on size, and I think that will ultimately kind of wear out the Rams.
All right, man. Thank you, Chris, so much. Appreciate
you. You're the
man.
All
right, and my good friend Tony Dungy raves about you. So
hey, come on. They don't get any better.
Keep doing great stuff for NBC.
Man.
All right, we'll let Chris get out of here. We're bringing Ruthie. Join us, who's an insider, Chris, of all the Patriots. So come on in, Ruthie.
Let's go, Ruthie.
We'll get Ruthie in here. Thank you, Chris. Send my best to your dad as well. We are here live on Radio Row here in Atlanta, Georgia, talking Patriots and the Rams. We're bringing now our good friend Ruthie from WPRI in Providence, Ruthie Polinsky.
Thank you for having me.
That right, of course.
Yeah,
and,
Ruthie Polinsky.
Ruthie, thank you for joining us. And we know you live and breathe the Patriots. We were joking last night about how, come on, talk about a dream job. You've been going to the Super Bowl the last 3 years. Are you surprised that they're here?
All right, AC, I do want to say that this is my second year covering the Patriots, and it's just honestly been a dream. And the fact that, some people are 8 years old and they've never seen the Patriots not in an AFC championship is truly unbelievable to me. But, I think there were definitely times of the season where we were questioning if the Pats were going to make it this far. But, you see them play against the Chargers and you're like, yeah, that's a championship caliber team. And then, everyone was feeling better about that Chiefs game. And then it's like, all right, how did we ever doubt that this team could possibly make it here?
Yeah, it has been pretty amazing to see what they've been able to accomplish. And, being from Indianapolis, we do not like the Patriots at all.
I know.
And but watching the game and what he did against the Chiefs, you really have to step back and say, hey, this is unbelievable what a guy at his age, 41 years old, is getting accomplished. And job well done by the offensive line. I don't think he was he might have been tapped every now and then in that game, but when you give your quarterback that much time to throw the football and then to find the veteran players that he was able to find, and Gronk and Edelman, you are in for a disaster night when it comes to opposing team. And you got to admire the fact that, one, he was protected, but also he knew how to find the guys who had got him, who delivered for him in the past, and they did the exact same thing to get him to another Super Bowl.
And AC, you mentioned the offensive line, which truly has been the storyline. I mean, since the Chargers game, they're just literally doing everything in their power to keep him upright, which, he's so obviously appreciative for. But not only that, they're opening up these enormous gaps to be able to run the football. And when you're successfully running the football, you can really do anything you want. So it's just been really, really cool to watch this offensive line, because there was a lot of criticism about not giving Tom the weapons he needed. There was a lot of turnover in that wide receivers group, and Gronk wasn't really the same, and Edelman, we weren't really sure what kind of version he was at the beginning of the season. But when you look at the weapons that they put on this offensive line, and Trent Brown, who came in for Nate Solder, who left and now is with the Giants, that you see how the Patriots did invest, and they had shored up, and they knew that was going to be key late in the season, and that's truly been the storyline. But yes, you mentioned, Gronk and Julian Edelman, who have really come into their old forms of themselves here in the last couple games. And with Gronk, it's been a whirlwind of a season for him, and he'd be the first one to tell you that. He's not necessarily the receiving tight end that we've known and loved forever, but watching Gronk in the blocking game, he's another offensive lineman out there, creating holes for the running game, and then he makes those critical catches down the stretch for you when you need him, and it's really been fun to watch. And Edelman, he's truly also made his strides. Obviously, coming back from injury, he served the 4-game suspension at the beginning of the season. So to see Edelman in this limelight again is really refreshing and fun.
All right, so Tom Brady's made it clear that he said zero chance.
Zero chance. I love that yesterday.
Zero. Do you believe him?
I believe him.
You do?
I do. And I've said from the beginning of the season, I think he's too stubborn to quit. I think he's too stubborn to say, what, to go out on top, that feels good. But I don't think he thinks this is necessarily the end of the top. Yeah. And that's what's truly amazing to me, is if he can play at this level for 3-4 more years, let him do it. I mean, come on, people, stop forcing him out of there with Tom. And I also, kind of my storyline has been, his business is TB12, and the way he takes care of his body, and the way how he eats, and
attire, his merchandise, his fitness.
It's really a fitness way of living, a lifestyle with TB12, and how he takes care of his body and what he eats, and it's really become a huge part of his life. So for him to stop playing football at 42, and he's been telling all his TB12 people, watch me, I'm going to play till I'm 45. That's kind of, I just think he wants to prove it to his business, for himself. And look, I mean, he promised Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, when they chose to trade Jimmy Garoppolo, they went with Tom Brady. They don't really have another plan. You would have to convince me that this Danny Etling kid is the next Tom Brady, when Brian Hoyer is standing there at backup right now.
So you're all in.
I'm all in on Tom.
All right, so we know you got the Patriots winning, so we're not going to worry about that, right?
I think it's going to be a really good game.
Right.
But look, I had the Patriots winning last year, and we have to be careful. Yanni and I, our sports director at WPRI in Providence, we have to be careful, because we've seen the Patriots look so good, and we felt so good about the Patriots going up against Nick Foles and the Eagles. But this Sean McVay guy, I mean, he's going to have a good game plan, and they're going to come out and hit him in the mouth, and it's going to be fun to watch. I think the Patriots are going to win, but it's going to be close.
All right, Ruthie. Well, look, we'll let you get out of here. We got to wrap things up. We're here on Radio Row talking to Ruthie Polinsky from our sister station WPRI in Providence. She's here, part of Next Star Nation, covering the Patriots. And Outstanding reporter. Thank you so much, Ruthie, for taking time. And listen, Rams, we're not leaving you out. Tomorrow we got one of our insiders for the Rams who's going to join us, Kevin E. Martin. She's going to join us tomorrow here on the Big Game Bound. So we'll have her with us as well. Thank you, Ruthie. Appreciate it.
Thanks, AC.
Big thank you to my man here, J.B. J.B., wow, what a day one here at Radio Row.
Oh, yeah.
So many great guests. We're here throughout the week from 1 to 1:30 Eastern Time. But what do you take away from what we heard today, J.B., as we get ready for some more great days, a part of Next Star Nation here on Radio Row?
Yeah, I feel like a symphony orchestra conductor over here, waving
right,
people
yeah,
in. Chris
yeah.
Sims coming in. Oh yeah, come on down. And
Yeah.
Ruthie coming in to give us some Patriots knowledge. Yeah, we have so much more coming up on Big Game Bound, and we have the Big Game Bound hashtag, which people can use to ask questions. And Austin Kellerman asked a question for Chris Sims that the tweet came in right as Chris was getting up. But maybe we could talk about this, AC. Maybe you and I can touch on this topic. Austin Kellerman asking on Twitter, for a young quarterback like Jared Goff, is a moment like this too big for him? You'd think it'd be an intimidating experience at this game and against Tom Brady.
Well, you know, he's not the youngest to be in the Super Bowl. That belongs to Ben Roethlisberger with the Steelers. You know, you can look at it two ways. I mean, you can going into the biggest moment, the biggest game of his life, it's going to have a factor on him, no doubt about that. But also, I mean, he's been in big games before. His key is to stay extremely relaxed. I think Matt Hasselbeck, former quarterback of the Colts, who had been to the Super Bowl, he was giving Jared Goff some advice about, hey, look, you're going to have a lot going on throughout the week, from the media requirements to practice, family members. Just stay focused on the game. And so you got to think if this young quarterback can take it as a normal game and not get so caught up in being a Super Bowl, as being a young quarterback, and just focus in on getting the job done, who knows? He may turn out all right. But the problem that he's facing is that he's facing a coach who's won 5 Super Bowls and a coach that is extremely hard to prepare for because, you know, they don't get as good as, you know, Bill Belichick. And then you got the guy offensively and Tom Brady on the other side. So a huge task for Jared Goff and Coach McVay. But, hey, they got through it and they got it done in New Orleans. And so we'll see what happens here on Super Bowl 53.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. You can't discredit the NFC game, the NFC Championship game, to go into New Orleans and to play against Drew Brees on the road and come out of that game. Listen, we could talk about the refs. We could talk about the non-call heard around the world all day, all week long. And believe me, I'm sure that there are going to be people here on Radio Row talking about that non-call for days, weeks, months, years to come. But the fact is that Jared Goff is here at the Super Bowl after beating Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints on the road in New Orleans. So Jared Goff, maybe that was kind of the appetizer to this main course, and maybe Jared Goff getting some of those jitters out of the way, because, you know, he wasn't his normal self, especially in that first half there in the NFC Championship game. Maybe after being exposed to that level of competition on that bright of a stage, maybe that's what he needed to be able to come into the Super Bowl here in Atlanta and just, you know, all shots fired, so to speak, and to get his offense running down the field. I mean, and again, you got to get Todd Gurley involved. I mean, he's a big part of that offense, but Jared Goff, maybe if he's more composed entering this game, the Rams will just start clicking, and then the Patriots will have to be the ones catching up.
That's right. Okay, folks, hey, thank you so much for watching Big Game Bound here live from Atlanta on Radio Row. I'm Anthony Calhoun along with J.B. Biunno. We will be here for you tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern time to 1:30 or a little bit later, depending on what we have on the show. But we do have some more great stuff coming your way tomorrow. More live guests on the show. Also tomorrow, we're going to take a look at this Mercedes-Benz Stadium that everyone's talking about. They have the best food and beverage deal in all the sports. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll have some great pictures for you on that and so much more. Thanks for watching Big Game Bound, everybody. Radio Row, the place to be. Next Star Nation is here. We'll see you tomorrow, 1 Eastern, right here on this website. Have a good day, everybody.